Hey, welcome to the Nigeria Politics and Social Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your fellow Nigerian. Today, I'm going to be looking at a headline that I just bumped into on Vanguard newspaper, Nigerian newspaper, concerning the ex-president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, where he has boasted of making 25 Nigerian billionaires during his tenure as the Nigerian president. And this is what I would like to be dealing with today. I hope you bear with me, because I will be going up and down and go here and there, try to reference past events and try to harmonize them in this very topic, because that is the way I'm made. I love complexity, and I always say that. So I want to say something here very importantly. You see, for Obasanjo to have came out like that and begin to boast of how he has made 25 Nigerian billionaires, for me, that would be the end of this man if this man was in another country. That is a self-implicatory statement. A statement that will have drawn dogs on him. In other words, EFCC by now should have begun to examine him to see how he has made these 25 Nigerian billionaires. This is a man, he's not boasting of how he has fought poverty in Nigeria. This man is not coming out to begin to make statement of how he has fought corruption in Nigeria. This man, like I say in my previous video, he will pass away. No one will mourn him. Unlike Mr. Joel of Singapore, a man who has transformed Singapore before he actually passed away, I think about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, if I can remember, Mr. Joel. When Mr. Joel came into the office in Singapore, he made a law. He was very strict. He made a law that would not discriminate against fellow citizens. Because in Singapore, you have 3 major tribes there. The Chinese, the Malays, of course, the Indians. Okay? Before Mr. Joel, the country was like Nigeria, where the Yoruba will only hire their people, and the Hausa will only hire their people. They started running that country like that, Singapore, just the same way Nigeria is being run today. But Mr. Yo came in and changed all of that. So it was this man, Mr. Yo, that had transformed Singapore into what you have there today as one of the best countries in the world. So what can you say about Nigeria? Do you think Mr. Yu will have came up there, on the stage or whatever, and begin to say, I have made 25 Singaporean billionaires, when in Singapore, they don't have water like what you have in Nigeria today? No water supply, even though Nigeria is surrounded with ocean. But yet they don't have water. But Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, when he was the man there in Libya, he channeled water from thousands of kilometers across the desert to his people in Libya. But in Nigeria, you have oceans surrounding the country, but yet people don't have water. They are digging boreholes. Is it what Mr. Obasanjo is proud of and made 25 billionaires out of? So I'm going to be dealing with all this, because he coming out to say, I made 25 Nigerian billionaires. So I would like to go straight forward. I wouldn't want to waste this tape here. I would like to show you how this man has made that 25 Nigerian billionaires. According to him, 100 was his target, but he couldn't make it. And that is only his regret. I want to say something. That shouldn't be your regret, old man. Your regret should be that during your tenure, when the Nigerians were very happy, when that good opportunity came up for them to have, constitution of the people, but they were disappointed when you, Mr. Obasanjo, when you came out of farm, you came into the government with that farmer mentality. You didn't know what was going on. Instead, you left the country to be in the hands of the fools, people who were never graduated. They drafted that constitution that will favor them. That's why today high-level criminals, like people like Saraki. You see the case is still there. They will never be indicted. All what you are seeing every day, EFCC, arrest this and arrest that, they will go nowhere, because the Constitution drafted under Mr. Obasanjo will not permit, even though the judge is not corrupt, because the judges now today, they are all corrupt. You can see the EFCC is up on their door, knocking on their doors and try to arrest them. But let's say the judges are not corrupt, but yet they will not be able to find this Nigerian politician guilty of any crime that he has been charged of, because the Constitution will provide a way of escape. There is what they call, I don't know what they call, is it second baggage or whatever they call it. So that always provide a way of escape for these Nigerian, goons, fools, fat bellies, who are looting the Nigerian money into Dubai. They will get there. They have no respect. Like I said, where you belong, you go everywhere with that country, the country where you come from. When your country fails, everywhere you go, you are a failure, no matter how rich you are. A fool cannot build a country. The Nigerians, naturally, they are resilient people. Nigerians are the richest people in Africa today, in spite the absence of government assistance to provide them water, to provide them electricity, to provide them good schools, to provide them good roads, to provide them all those things that the government owe its citizens. But you see, the Nigerians are striving in that hardship. Riding big cars, having big dreams, building big houses. The problem you have today in Nigeria, why the Nigerians or the country Nigeria is still tied down somehow, is because the country is in the hands of fools. When you look at Europe, take for instance, Europe were built by men of intellect. They were wise men. What they had to do with their kings, it had to do with the councils of the kings. They were intelligent people. They were people driven by philosophy. What they had to do with Napoleon, who was an expansionist, or whether you had to do with even Hitler of Germany, though he killed people. But apart from that, this man built Germany. What you have today in Germany, all the best road in the world they have there, was built by these people. The vision came from this man. When you go to Netherlands, you go to United Kingdom, their leaders were men of noble characters, men that were very passionate about their countries. They were ready, and some of them died for the sake of their countries. So that is what is lacking today in Nigeria. And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not because I want to talk bad about the people there, but about the misappropriation of funds and the looting and the bribery and the lack of accountability. And of course, that constant, immunity that is going on. That is why I'm doing this. Along the way, when I have an individual, like Wolo Soyinka, who made some statement, I bring it up. But that is not only why I'm doing this. I am very much frustrated. I'm very angry of what is going on in Nigeria. That after 50-something years of independence, you still don't have water supply. You still don't have electricity. People using generators. That is causing stroke now. Stroke cases, I'm talking about high blood pressure now, heart failure cases is on the rise now in Nigeria due to this noise coming from generator. Of course, the carbon monoxide that is being emitted into the air every day. So this is what Obasanjo should be regretting, that he has failed, that he was not able to change all this. Let me tell you how this man have made that 25 Nigerian billionaires. I would like to start first with the Nigerian budget. I'm talking about the federal budgets. Okay, the budgets that has been done every year, where allocations are made to different states. Okay, let's look at this. We all saw the other time the state of the police college in Nigeria, where the state of everything inside that police college were just as the colonial left it for Nigeria. I'm talking about 50-something years ago. But that is where the Nigerian police are being trained before they are sent for various assignment in the country. The Nigerians were crying and saying, how can this be? So tell me, why is it that today no one has been indicted right from the days of Obasanjo through Jonathan and whoever that was there before Jonathan, and try to see what happened to the budget, the allocation to that college, that police college in Nigeria? No one has been held accountable to today. So that is the legacy of Mr. Obasanjo. Some people, group of people who were in charge of every money coming to that college has become billionaires by pocketing the money budgeted to take care of that very facility. So that is how Mr. Obasanjo has made probably 1 billionaire right there. The second one is governance, where allocation made for state every year. These governors will just pocket that money, or they just send it to Dubai. That is how this man have made 25 Nigerian billionaires. And most importantly, you all remember that Mr. Obasanjo presidency was not without controversy. His tenure was tarnished by allegations of fraud and money laundering, and of course bribery that had to do with Halliburton. We all know the case of Halliburton, of course, Siemens from Germany, where they had to bribe Mr. Obasanjo and his officials in order for them to have contract in Nigeria. Actually, such men were tried back in the US by the American government, but no one today has been arrested in Nigeria. That is the legacy of Mr. Obasanjo, corruption, and that is what you are seeing today. Mr. Obasanjo, during that meeting or whatever it was, forum, there was a man that was with him there called Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu is a banker, Nigerian banker. The man is a billionaire right now. According to Forbes, report, that man worth, I'm talking about Tony Elumelu, he worth almost $1 billion today. How come? Because this man was banking those money coming from Mr. Obasanjo into the Nigerian private banks, because the Nigerian corrupt politician has found a way to escape the humiliation and the shame that they've been going through over the years in international airport, where they are caught with suitcase full of the Nigerian money. They try to launder those Nigerian money outside. Ibori case was just one of the examples. So now the Nigerian governors, the Nigerian lawmakers, have found a way to bank those money they have stolen from the Nigerian treasury or from the public treasury. They find a way to bank those money into the Nigerian private banks. So that is why you see that the Nigerian bankers never talk about corruption, because they are in cahoots with these Nigerian politicians. And that is how Mr. Tony Elumelu has become a billionaire. Probably that is what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. When you would trace Mr. Obasanjo's loot, all the money went missing during his tenure, you are going to see that Mr. Elumelu probably helped this man to bank those money. You see, why you see that the Nigerian banks are robust now is because of these Nigerian politicians. Someone might say, it's not bad because, they banking the money in Nigeria is better than they take it outside. But don't talk like a fool. I mean, that would sound like from someone who's a little bit retarded. Because why you don't have water today, it's not that there's no budget being made to bring water. Someone has sit upon those money. So they're not channeling those money to the Nigerian banks. So it's not a good thing. Why you see that the Nigerian universities are not the best in Africa? The best Nigerian universities are by 25th or 26th place, in the African university ranking. It's because of this. That's what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. Someone became a billionaire through the embezzlement of the money budgeted to the Ministry of Education. They have never been held accountable. Someone became a billionaire through every ministry where they had those positions as ministers there. That is what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. Another thing that I would like to say here very importantly is during Mr. Obasanjo era as the Nigerian president, he actually gave the right to his kinsmen, people from his place. He gave them license to begin to drill oil in the Niger deltas, whereas the people that own that place were never given the same rights. So that's why you have billionaires today like, Makadenuga and the rest of them. So maybe that's what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. Where the Niger Delta, Aborigines there try to, oppose that move. Mr. Obasanjo sent military and conquered them. He just exterminated them. Children, old and young. So that is the evil, the legacy Mr. Obasanjo have left in Nigeria. And that is what he's talking about, that he has made 25 Nigerian billionaires. Someone get rich there. When you look at the list of the Nigerian young billionaires right now, you're going to see some of them made their wealth through oil business. That is what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. There was no remittance, there was no tax, there was no money paid to the federal government. And NEPA is one of the examples. Of course, Tony Enumelu is one of those people running the private companies now that are providing electricity to the Nigerians. It all came from NEPA, Obasanjo's connection. There was gross corruption there. We don't know if they even pay any money to acquire that giant company that was owned by the Nigerian government. So that is what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about. That gross corruption, where people are not held accountable, there's no investigation, nothing. Mr. Obasanjo probably made 25 Nigerian billionaires through the bribery and money laundering that had to do with Halliburton case. A lot of money, a lot of millions of dollars were given to these Nigerian, officials under this man, Mr. Obasanjo, who became billionaire today now. I mean, I cannot believe that a man like this will come and be talking about how he had made 25 Nigerian billionaires when till date, Nigeria as a country is still being rated as one of the poorest countries in the world. And when the list came out the other time, when Jonathan was in power, Jonathan said, no, I don't believe it. They never believe anything. Because in Nigeria, they always think that Nigeria is the best country in the whole world. They always think that Nigeria has the best institutions. But when the whole thing have to go through scrutiny, through ranking, you see that the Nigerian best university doesn't even appear. I'm talking about top 25 in Africa. Look at the Nigerian airports, the worst in Africa. And the man there said, no, I don't believe. I just came out for international conference. They say that they applauded, the Nigerian government, for, the improvement in the Nigerian airports. But that is a fool. That's the way fool argue. That's the Nigerian way of argument. They argue like children. Argument that has no basis. There is no sense to it. Because you just came out from abroad, they say, okay, thank you, or whatever. They recommend you for what you are doing concerning the Nigerian airports. But that has not negate the fact on the ground. That has not negate the fact that the Nigerian airports, the 3 Nigerian international airports, are the worst in Africa. Look at Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the only black country that came out among the best airports in Africa. The rest were South Africa, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, and the rest of them. I mean, look at Nigeria today. I'm going to do this next time. I want to tell you the characteristic of a failed country and why Nigeria is among a failed country. When you look at the Nigerian carrier, national carrier, it doesn't exist. But look at Ethiopia. Ethiopian Airlines is one of the most prominent airlines in Africa today. Ethiopia is just as rich as a state in Nigeria. So, is this something Mr. Obasanjo should be proud about and say, I made 25 Nigerian billionaires through corruption, through fraud, through money laundering? I guess not. Nigerian national carrier is not existing. It's a sign of a fake country and a sign of a fake people. There are a lot of things I would like to be dealing with here because you can't be proud of failure. Only a fool is proud of failure. Mr. Obasanjo is a failure. He should be ashamed of himself. And if he died, like I said, he will pass away. No one will mourn him. Nelson Mandela died. The whole world came in to pay homage. Mr. Yo, when he died, the whole country mourned him. Who is going to mourn Mr. Obasanjo when he died, except his own village man? Because you've done nothing. I want to point out something very important here before I close. You know, when Mr. Obasanjo was the Nigerian president, actually, Nigeria shot about 2 satellites into space. It was a big achievement. And that was done through a Chinese company. It was launched in China. I want to say something here. You have the Nigerian national telecommunication company called NIGERIAN. Okay? NIGERIAN was privatized under Mr. Obasanjo. He basically just gave it to his kinsman. Okay? Adenuga. It's into oil. It's into telecommunication. Nigerian telecommunication, NIGERIAN, was privatized under this Mr. Obasanjo. No money was paid to acquire that company. I'm telling you. If third investigation was to be done, you are going to find out that a lot of stuff went wrong there. Mr. Obasanjo was giving the money and gave that company to his person. So that satellite was shot into space using the Nigerian federal money. I'm talking about federal money, Nigerian money, the people's money, to shoot that to satellite and say it was meant to help the Nigerian people. They are going to benefit in area of geography and whatever, mapping. But that wasn't the reason. The reason was to enable the man that has acquired NIGERIAN to operate. Because the man couldn't have money to shoot satellite. It cost billions or millions of dollars. So Nigerian money was used to shoot that satellite for the sake of this very man who has acquired the NIGERIAN. Before then, when NIGERIAN was still under the Nigerian government, they never thought of shooting satellite. Remember, anything that concerned government in Nigeria, nobody cared. That is why you see some building in Nigeria, they say that is Federal High Court. Federal High Court. It look like camping. It's like when you're traveling in Europe or in the US. You see some of those camping along the road. That's the way those Nigerian High Court looks like. Okay? That is what is going on in Nigeria. They can import mambos and import the best generators, but they don't have idea to bring about electricity that will benefit the whole country. So, Obasanjo, just like any other Nigerian president, never think of shooting satellite into space because it will benefit everybody. But they decided to conceive that idea because NIGERIAN has been privatized now. So, it's going to benefit this individual. And probably he also has, Mr. Obasanjo also have some fingers in that company now that is privatized. So you can see the enormous corruption there. That's what Mr. Obasanjo is talking about, because a country that cannot boast of the best institution in Africa, a country that cannot boast of the best road and facilities in Africa, a country that cannot boast of the best democracy in Africa, elections have people kill themselves. Everything Nigeria is not leading in Africa. Because for you to have a leader, a great leader, that leader must be someone that embraces intellectualism. So that is why you still never produce a leader that the Africans will call one of the fathers of Africa. You don't have that coming from Nigeria. Obasanjo cannot play that position because he don't have that intellectual capacity to bring about revolution in Africa, even in his own country. So this is what I want to talk about because, as he claimed, Mr. Obasanjo claimed to have made 25 Nigerian billionaires. For me, he have achieved that through corruption, through money laundering, through mismanagement of funds and the corruption that is going on in Nigeria. So he coming around this time around. If I were the present president now, the prosecutor, the judge is there, and this man will have been brought to book. Like I said earlier, his statement is a self-implicatory statement that would have called dogs on him, and I will have prosecuted him and make sure I put him away for a long time. He will never have seen light because his administration was full of corruption. The people around him were all corrupt. The Halliburton case to cement cases, and of course the illegal acquisition of the government control companies like Telecom and Nepal and others will have landed this man in jail and be put away for a long time. So thanks for listening and God bless you. Talk to you next time.